My guest at this time, as we sit here in the darkness, it's like so dark. It's like we're in the Dungeon of Doom right now. Ooh.
Instead of a dark match, it's like a dark interview.
Yes, this is STARRCAST Dark here. It's Nick Hausman, joined here by one of my favorite people in professional wrestling. It's the Blue Meanie. Meanie, thank you so much for taking the time.
Oh, thanks for having me, man. I always enjoy seeing you when we're at STARRCAST or out and about and stuff like that, man. It's good to be around you and other like-minded people.
Now, I got to ask you, first of all, you are so synonymous, of course, with all the comedy stuff in ECW. Not that you didn't also get your shit tossed and everything like that. But how do you think AEW's been handling walking that line with comedy and action so far?
It's been fine. It's been great. I just took a photo with Orange Cassidy earlier. Because he makes me laugh. And to be quite honest, I'm quite jealous that he could get away with doing that where, a guy like me, I'm like blown up on the lockup. He's just like, it's fine. I mean, wrestling's evolved. We can't pretend that something like Orange Cassidy is an abomination,
right, when
there's been like wrestling mummies in the bit. Yeah, I've seen wrestling mummies on the show. Or
the Yeti. The Yeti is here this weekend.
Yes. Yeah. So let's not act like Orange Cassidy is something bad.
And Orange does have like faded jeans, right? And you had like faded jeans, but yours were like short faded jeans.
Yeah.
Are you a little jealous maybe that Orange was like the one to figure out you could wrestle with your hands in your pocket? Because that could have been yours, man.
That, and I had the paint on my glasses.
That's true.
And he gets away with wrestling with his glasses on.
You're right.
So here, 20 years I've been painting my face like a raccoon. Raccoon glasses on. Well, I could just put on regular glasses.
Yeah.
I'm envious of the guy.
Well,
somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, he's right over there. I just talked to him. He was talking about how he's like roommates with Chuck Taylor. Did you know they live together?
I did not. But that should be a reality show.
I thought the same thing. Yeah. I had no idea. He said he was a bad roommate.
That's why you need to find a show. You need a show to find out why. It's like a Felix and Oscar thing, the Odd Couple.
All right, now I have to ask, now that I've opened the door open here, who was the best person to room with on the road when you were with, just a pro wrestler? Who's your favorite roommate, road traveler?
I don't know if it was favor or it was just amusing, was Balls Mahoney.
Okay.
Just because anything could happen.
Okay, now wait. When you say anything can happen, like what are some of the anything that could see your significant other over here right now? I don't know how much you want to say, but
no. Okay. I mean anything from him just air drumming to just you walk in the room and he's naked.
Is that a common Balls Mahoney thing?
Yeah, I've seen more of Mahoney than anybody. And there's some things I won't even repeat in public, but...
Have you watched him have sex? Have you watched Balls Mahoney have sex, Blue?
No. Okay. No. Maybe with a bottle of Kraken, but yeah, when he drinks it, yeah, or whatever he would drink. But yeah, he was the most interesting roommate.
Okay.
But yeah, that's everything else was compared. It was tame.
Okay.
Compared to Balls Mahoney.
All right, and then I got to follow up. Who was the worst person to room with when you were on the road?
I really didn't have like a worst person. It just because most of the time when you're rooming somebody on the road, it's like for a couple of hours, and then well, put it this way: if you're rooming with somebody, you're also riding with them, and like if you're willing to ride on the spend that many hours in the car with somebody, then rooming should be easy. So there's really no one I was like, oh, geez,
Now, wait, I'd always heard, now I've seen you write about this and others from ECW. There was some kind of like, in Philly, there was like a hotel. It was what was it called? The Tower of Sin? Is that right?
It was called the Cylinder of Sin. And it was the Travel Lodge, and for some reason it's still standing. And it's very spherical, and they really needed to put a condom over the entire building. It should be condemned or just... detoxified or bug bombed or whatever. It's like this really tall building, and it's right now so bad that the elevator broke So they only rent out the first 4 floors of a 30-story building.
Is that true?
There was like a whole newspaper article about it.
What?
I was like, that's child's play.
What?
Yeah. One weekend you go in there and you check in your room and open up the door and there's a chalk outline. Just or one weekend there's a kid floating in the pool. Who knows?
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. All right, well, let's fast forward a little bit here right now. Let's talk about a little bit what AEW is doing at the moment.
Yeah.
A lot of people talking about what Cody Rhodes did with the Silver Spoon promo on Wednesday night. What'd you think of that promo and the way that AEW has really been able to corner the market, I feel like, in a short period of time on the promo game in pro wrestling?
Well, it's like what I tell anybody in this business, like starting in the business. See what is popular and then just do the opposite. Like the WWE has this certain way of filming. There's certain ways to do promos. You're not allowed to look into the camera, stuff like that. You got to, talk about somebody, but you're talking like they're not there. Goofy stuff. I love you, Bubba. Ricky Morton, Hall of Fame.
Hey, Ricky, you want to come in? You want to say hi?
No, I just want to say hi to my friend.
Oh, that's fine. It's Ricky Morton.
I love you, my friend.
I love you too. Thank you.
I'll see you around, my friend.
He wasn't on camera, but I think we all just heard Ricky Morton say he loves you.
I've known Ricky before pre-Blue Meanie. I used to wrestle every Thursday night in Indianapolis, Indiana for a wrestler named Mike Samples, and it was like in a car repair garage. But the guy gimmicked it with some really cool drywall to where he made separate entrances. He had laser lights, all this stuff. He maybe get 75 people in there, but it felt bigger.
Okay.
And Ricky was always on those shows, and Ricky would always take me aside to give me advice.
Oh, man.
So years later, I'm in ECW, and he comes to ECW, and then he goes to wrestle Steve Richards. I'm in the corner. He's like, "You're that kid from Indiana." I'm like, "Yeah." So, yeah, I've always loved Ricky Morton, but just I've had some cool in the business experiences with Ricky Morton.
Do you also think that Ricky Morton has the best Canadian destroyer in professional wrestling today?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't do it. I can't even. The fact that he's doing that,
Does it make you upset?
I should step up my game.
I don't know, man.
I'm doing something wrong. I don't know.
You got kind of that Dick Johnson type vibe to you. Isn't that what it was? Big Dick Johnson?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the cop.
No.
Officer. Who's the officer?
Oh, was that Cabana's gimmick in JCW? No.
Heavy set dude, mustache.
Oh, Dick Justice.
Dick Justice.
Yeah.
Dude, he was the best.
Yeah, he's on hiatus right now.
Yeah, I know. I hope he comes back. I hope he sees this video and know that I'm thinking of him. And
Okay.
the wrestling community loves him. But, yeah, Dick Justice was the man. Where were we going?
I don't know. I don't know where we're going at right now. Should I wrap this up? I should throw something out there. I feel like right now.
No. I'm freelancing here, man. I'm just calling in the ring. Man.
No, it's fine. Well, usually when I do my interviews at home, I have a whole list of questions, but there's no list here. We can just kind of talk about whatever we want.
Yeah. We were talking about AEW doing promos.
Yeah.
And Silver Spoon.
So let's go back to the Silver Spoon promo. Yeah.
Dude, that was amazing.
Yeah.
It was an amazing promo, and it's in his DNA.
Yeah.
If he couldn't cut a promo, I'd be wondering what happened. But he's a Rhodes. He should know how to do a promo. But he's got, Cody's got a great mind for the business. I'm sure he learned well from his dad, learned well from his brother. When I watched it, I legit got goosebumps. I legit, felt it. There's some things, if it's done right, you'll feel it. And I definitely felt that. Hopefully it translates into a hell of a pay-per-view this weekend, So, I hope that I want AEW. I want AEW to do so. I want them to do well. Wrestling needs, competition and stuff like that. And just, I'm interested to see where it goes.
I did want to ask you one more thing. Now, there was, of course, the crazy Saudi Arabia travel issue that WWE had. What's the craziest? Have you had anything on par? Have you had any insane travel issues or stories in your time in pro wrestling?
Nothing as crazy as that, or the I've never had a plane ride from hell, or just like always, it's always some kind of delay. It's so my travel issues have been so boring. It's just like, oh, I should have been home at noon. I'm here at 9.
I had to get the neighbor to drive to New York to pick you up from that England trip that one time.
Well,
It was raining. It was pouring rain. They canceled your flight.
Who are we hearing from first of all?
no, Mrs. Meanie's off camera.
Miss Meanie. Okay.
And she's the better part of my brain.
Okay.
Because, I don't know where the rest of it went. But, yeah, there was a trip. I worked for 1PW in England. I flew. I was supposed to be fly from England, New York, Philly, right? So the second half got canceled. And I'm like, dude, I'm like 2 hours. This is a drive. I called. And to her credit, she went. Yeah, Mrs. Meanie can't drive, so she went and knocked on the neighbor's door, and they had like a Thelma and Louise road trip up to New York. Pouring rain, the car went through a puddle, it stalled out, all this stuff, but they got to me, and they drove me home like the next morning, and I just waited for the flight I was supposed to take to deliver my bags. So, just stuff like that where the flight gets canceled and.
But no calls like, oh, are you going to be murdered? I'm going to find you in several pieces and like luggage or anything like that.
No.
Okay. I can see her giggling right now. Probably as like she's like giggling because she's like, I'm happy. I've never been put in that situation before.
No. It's always just been mundane fucking delays.
All right. Well, last thing. I already said last thing twice, but last thing. You, Stevie, and Bucci, and Raven,
Yes.
right? Like, what are the odds we see you guys get together here sooner than later and do something together?
Dude, I would love to do something. It's up to them. I'm down. I'm game for whatever. I think the last time we were together was like a couple years ago for WrestlePro in Jersey, and they had a Royal Rumble thing where all four of us were in the ring for the first time in a couple decades or 20 years or whatever.
I never see you guys together.
No. It was one of those rare instances where the promotion really took advantage of having us all together. And the cool thing was, as we started, our entrances right behind each other.
Sure. So
the crowd started picking up on it. Oh, there's Ray. Oh, there's Nova. There's Steve. And Bucci came out as Simon Dean first.
Oh.
So when
Swerve him.
Yeah, so when I came out, he opened up his jacket and had the BWO shirt on underneath, and that was pretty cool.
I feel bad because I feel sad because I don't think Raven likes me.
Why?
I worked with him in Corgan's Resistance Pro.
Oh, okay.
And you were like, oh.
No,
I was the only other promo guy, and he
Oh.
buried me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Well, I mean, he's Raven's like a perfectionist, and I'm sure.
I pissed him off. I don't know. Can I tell you a Raven story real fast?
Yes.
Okay. So I know Raven didn't like me, right? Which was fine. It's wrestling. You work with people that, and I wanted to win Raven over. I'm a big Raven fan, okay? So he was working with the Almighty Sheik at the time, who's now Yosef Samuel in MLW, right? And I was managing the Sheik, who was Yosef Samuel. And Sheik uses the spike. Raven had used the spike. And Sheik went to Raven and was like, how do I use the spike in a very devastating way? And Raven said, I'll show you. And we're in the locker room. And he's like, Piven, which was my name at the time, he said, get over here. And Raven made me sit on my knees in front of him while he took this giant railroad spike and thrust it in my forehead, in a very intimidating fashion.
Right.
Very safe. I wasn't hurt, but it scared the crap out of me. Does that sound like the Raven you know?
No. No.
Different Raven experiences.
No, like Raven, we used to do the thing that they do in NXT now with the skull sessions where he would have me sit in the middle of the room, and he would yell, or I stand in the middle of the room while he sat there, and he would yell out subjects. Hey, Blue Meanie, do a promo on this or that and that and that. But like his critiques were harsh, but when you listen to his critiques, you go, he's right.
I know.
Yeah. So I don't think it ever came from a place of hating you.
No, I don't think he liked me.
I wasn't there, so I can't say.
That's fine. It's okay. You know, different strokes, different strokes. You had a great I'm jealous of your relationship with Raven. That's what I'm saying. So anyway, Meanie, thank you so much for the time. I always enjoy chatting with you.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for our little dark section here.
We're here for the
A little bit of mood lighting.
Yeah.